Hi everybody and welcome to the channel. Now one of the things I frequently get asked about is metal or copper plating 3D prints. One way to do that, of course an easy way, is just to spray paint them with a metallic paint, and some of these paint finishes are pretty good. Another method is electroplating, which is simple in essence, involving just a copper salt solution, some wires and a battery as a power source, but you do have to wait for ages, and it is a pretty technical skill in order to get a copper coat that will adhere firmly. And of course we want to do plastic, and that means a primer coat to make the whole thing conductive. However, there is another method called mechanical plating, which is also known as peen plating or mechanical deposition or impact plating, and it basically involves cold welding fine metal particles to a workpiece. All you really need is a tumbler, your workpiece, some fine metal powder, and possibly an added grinding material. The benefits are it's easy, cheap and safe, and does a pretty good job. So what I've got here is that bust that I printed of myself when I was practicing with the 3D scanner. I've also got a rock tumbler, and the bust fits in the rock tumbler. What I've also got is some copper powder and some 4mm steel ball bearings and what they call filler tumbling material that came with this. It's kind of like ceramic rods. They're about 1 centimetre by about 4mm. What I'm going to do is put all of this stuff in here, turn it on, and we're going to leave it for a while and see if we can coat this with this. So in there is the model I want to coat, 400 steel ball bearings at 4mm and a teaspoonful of copper powder, and we just close up the rock tumbler and set it going for some amount of time. Now I've got no idea because this is the first time I've done this, so I'm going to leave it for an hour and we'll see what happens. So once everything's inside the barrel, you've got it turning, what happens is the metal powder hits the surface of the plastic part. Of course it hits everywhere else as well, but it hits the surface of the plastic part and it's cold welded onto the surface. The steel ball bearings that we put in there help with that cold welding process, because as it turns round and round, of course, those ball bearings are hitting the bit of plastic. Of course, you don't have to use steel ball bearings. Other things have been used. So glass balls have been used, zirconium balls have been used. They're the things that are used as baking beads, so you can buy them in your local store. Lots of different things can be used, and the parts themselves are sometimes used if the parts are small enough, like nuts or washers. Now you can control the process by changing things like the tumbling time, the barrel speed, the size of the metal powder, or the size and weight of the media that you use. So we used 4mm, but we could equally use 10mm steel ball bearings, and that would change everything. And sometimes, of course, you need to change things because different surfaces react differently. We're trying to coat PLA, but other materials might need other settings like a faster speed, longer time, or bigger media. You can find this out just by practicing with it. One of the most significant advantages of mechanical plating is that it produces coatings with excellent adhesion, even on irregular shaped and delicate substrates. And of course, in terms of plating, it's incredibly clean. Okay, I've given it an hour. I'll have a look at it and see what it looks like. There we go. It really is copper coating it, so that's real copper metal. Now, it's copper, so it will oxidize relatively quickly. So when you've coated it, of course, what you need to do is put a layer of lacquer on it. This is the second time I run this. What I found was in the first time, it coated it, but it didn't stick. This time it's sticking on there, and the reason it's sticking on there is because I got some acetone and I dipped the model in acetone, turned it, give it a shake and gave it a couple of minutes, and that makes the surface go sticky. And of course, because it's sticky and it's now getting pounded with the balls, it's giving it an adherent copper coat. That really is cool. So this idea of peen plating when it comes to a PLA 3D printed model seems to be working an absolute treat. Of course, there are other things that we would want to try. So I've got some bronze metal powder here. I'd like to give it a go. Maybe try it with a bit of graphite. But for metal coating, or at least copper coating, your 3D prints, then peen plating using a rock tumbler seems to work an absolute treat. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching.